Okay, we're going to start here with register. So this is a speech called How to Speak So That People Will Listen from Julian Treasures. It's a TED Talk, and he actually has a British accent if you look up the video. So some of the pronunciation is a little bit different than what we do, but what he has to say about your voice and how to use your voice is very powerful. So I'm going to use this speech today as we're practicing. And if you are interested, you can kind of go back and look for his TED Talk if you want to read the whole thing, okay? All right, go here with register, for example, and I'll be listening for those T's and D's and linking.
Okay, actually, I'm sorry, and before I start, can I have a quick question?
Sure.
The phrase, and I, and sometimes I heard this, and I, or sometimes another time I heard people talk about and I. So which way should we say, or can I?
Yeah, so what I like about your question, Joni, is you're starting to hear a lot, your ear is being tuned to a lot of the small little nuances of how native speakers say things. So what's nice is that you've gone through the program, you're going through the rules, you're practicing everything, and as you do, your ear starts to become more aware of what native speakers are doing. So and I, kind of that transition between and I. My friend and I are going to the movies. My friend and I are going to the movies. And I, so it can be, I've heard from native speakers, and I, I've heard that before. I would, for our purposes, I would like that to be, that D to link. So instead of dropping the D, because with native speakers, the T and the D very frequently get dropped at the end of words. And I think that it's fine for native speakers because there's, I don't know, it's just kind of a laziness that happens for native speakers. I think that for our purposes and the clarity and the precision and things like that, we don't want to kind of go the lazy side. We want to go the more professional and clear sounding side. So I would say get that D in there and do and I.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay.
All right, go ahead when you're ready.
Okay. Register, for example, now postal register may not be very useful most of the time, but there's register in between. I am not going to get very technical about this for any of you who are voice coaches.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, Joni. I know that there's the kind of a warm-up phase that happens, so I'm going to have you do that again, and let's really kind of get that rhythm in there, because I think with linking, when we focus on linking and connecting, we have to have that rhythm there, or it's going to be really hard to link those words together. So do this for me. Register, for example.
Register, for example.
Now, falsetto register may not be very useful most of the time.
Now, falsetto register may not be very useful most of the time.
Good. But there's a register in between.
But there's a register in between.
I'm not going to get very technical about this.
I'm not going to get very technical about this.
For any of you who are voice coaches.
For any of you who are voice coaches.
Okay, now do that section again and kind of keep that same rhythm. So you're kind of bringing the stressed words and syllables up, you're bringing it down. We're kind of doing that up and over the hill through those chunks, okay?
Register, for example. Now, falsetto register may not be very useful most of the time, but there's a register in between. I'm not going to get very technical about this for any of you who are voice coaches.
Good. Get very technical. Kind of connect that for me. I'm not going to get very technical about this.
I'm not going to get very technical about this.
Good. And when you kind of hang on some of those words, it makes it easier to link and connect. I'm not going to get very technical about this. You know, it helps us kind of get through those bigger, longer words as we kind of hang on the stressed syllable of that word.
I'm not going to get very, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not going to get very technical about this.
Yep. Okay, so that breaking it into chunks and getting that linking and connecting, not only does it help the ending words like the T's and D's in being able to connect and link, but it gets that overall rhythm really nice and flowy. Okay, so we're trying to get that flow to it, so we're not kind of choppy or we're not breaking where we really shouldn't be, things like that. So that when we're working on linking, it really does help for you to kind of identify where are the chunks, where should I pause, and in between that, let's get that up and over the hill. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, good. So I want you to kind of practice that. Take these TED Talks that we've provided there in the program and just identify the chunks. Where are the chunks? And up and over the hill. Okay, and then link that when we're in between chunks. We just want to link everything in that chunk. Okay.
Okay.
All right, you're doing great, Joni. Keep it up.
Okay, thank you.
All right, excellent. Yeah, and so we talk about kind of zooming in on the sounds, zooming out on the rhythm. What I just did with Joni is a lot of zooming out because she's worked really hard getting the sounds of English. And when we zoom back out, a lot of times it helps us, it really helps both the sounds and the rhythm.